But let's we are going to spend, we're not going to spend too much time on it, but we're going to spend the last few minutes kind of revisiting this Crawford Spence saga. I just want to be fair because this is also educating me. All right. So apparently
we're not going to talk about this video, are we?
Well, no, we're not going to talk about the video, but we're going to talk about the tweets. All right. So I'm going to let the casual Rand give a little bit of a synopsis and there. And if you want to, you can share your screen, but
I don't have it on my screen on that.
I believe Mike Benson or Coppinger or one of these guys collected all the tweets.
Yeah, it's up there. So I just want to go out there and say that first off, this was a medium that acceptable as communication. So most people are gonna be like, well, he just tweeted. It's the same as I see it the same as Crawford going on live and reading off a cue card. I respect the way Spence did it because he was pretty much texting or tweeting straight to Terrence Crawford. It was a conversation between the two men. It wasn't?
Oh, no, it was. It was. I just know that Errol Spence used words in those tweets that I don't think he ever used in his life.
Exactly. and to me, that proves his point that what he was saying is more credible than what Crawford was saying. Especially when he tells him, he was like, yo, didn't your team get the contract on August 24th? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Crawford never like refuted that he didn't get it. He even goes on to say, like, Crawford even goes on to say that, yeah, y'all try to pull a fast one. That's why my team revised it. But my thing is, like, when you look at it and you look at how the conversations over the last 2 months, the little bits of information that the public was getting, it lines up more with what Spence was saying than what Crawford was saying. Because when Spence came back and was like, yeah, you try to pull a fast one, so we sent it back. That was the same time that the head of Showtime was Espinoza was saying that, yeah, we sent the contract, their team had some issues and sent it back. And then we didn't hear anything from them after that. So that's when Spence says in the tweet, he was like, yeah, your team did send it back, but those was the same three issues. The three issues that you had was the three things that was in the original contract. So you was just fucking stalling. You sent it back, stalling, dragging your feet. And then, like, only thing that Terrence Crawford ever, like, he went down the whole thing. He said, I gave you the contract on August 24th. In the contract. So when we fought, like, every time that us, the pundits, had this conversation, it was about the contract and no guarantee and then the back end and not having access to the number. Errol Spence broke that shit down, and like you said, he used language that he would probably never use. He says the draft included specific provisions that required that both of us would receive a complete and full written detailed accounting showing all pay-per-view sales and event and then status of the net revenues received and all event expenses incurred and paid. He goes down the line saying that we gave you everything that you asked for. And you know what I'm saying? And then so they go back and forth. Only thing that Crawford, his rebuttal through the whole thread was, you weren't at the table, so you're not your own man, and y'all was slow rolling the contract. So Errol comes back and says, I didn't need to be at the table. My team, who represents me, gave me everything I wanted. I got everything I wanted. The negotiation was because for you to get what you want. And then even with the $50 million, like when you bring up the $50 million, he was like, hold on. He said, all money, not good money. I asked him where the 50 million was coming from and who was over the hedge fund putting the money up, and he couldn't tell me. I think he said that Crawford just said, I think we all just need to meet in person. He he never told us, the public, when he was explaining it, that who was the head of the hedge fund or where the money was coming from, and he didn't even tell the other fighter who the money was coming from. So even with that, like what me and you argued about last week, Jared, PBC put on a $50 million fight this year. So why would Al let him go somewhere else for a $50 million fight when they doing $50 million fights in-house? So to me, this whole thread like just shuts down all of Terrence Crawford's argument. And then you can always say that he said, she said, he said this and he said another, but there was another
exactly
person.
What this all is now.
But there's a third person that the actual, not the promoter, but the what you call ESPN, the distributor.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you asked.
That supports everything that was said in public with the contract. So to me, this is over, man. It just shows that Terrence slow rolled it and then chose to go a different route.
Yeah, I've heard these arguments. I've had to listen to these arguments now on YouTube for the last few weeks now, and it's just like Cam said, and you said it, Randy. This is all. It's become a he said, she said, and we as fans have no way of verifying if any of this shit is true. We just have no way.
That's true, but you know what I'm saying. To me,
it's like look, hey, if Spence's team gave him all that shit in a timely manner, then Crawford got some explaining to do. But we have no idea. He dared Crawford to post. To be clear for our viewers, wasn't a contract. It was a term sheet. The contract is the finished product. The term sheet is what gets revised and revised and revised into a contract. So there was never ever a contract. There was a term sheet.
It was a draft. His word said, "Did you get a draft contract on August 25th?"
Right, draft contract.
That sounds suspect. Like it's not a contract, but it's like a draft. But at the same time, it is just. I mean, it gives us some content to kind of argue about and all that. But what it comes down to, the fight is not getting made.
Right. Exactly.
It seems like it sad. It's sad because I just think that is about legacy and blocking legacy. I think that Crawford is perfectly happy for this fight to happen at 154 next year.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I think Spence has a better chance of winning at 154.
That's what I'm saying. Like Spence seems like he has to drain himself more to get to 147.
Yeah.
So like,
that was always been the narrative. But you know what I'm saying? Like after the crash, I honestly believe he changed his life, and he's been living that life where he can stay at 147 until he don't want to, but I think he's living a life that he can stay at 147 to accomplish the goal. But I think Crawford knows this, and he was like, man, I can keep doing this, and this, and fuck him, and I'll see him at 154 when it's not for no legacy. It's not for a unification. It's just for, hey, we fighting at 154 now.
Yeah. The other elephant in the room with all this, with these negotiations, was the what stood out to me was the fact that there was no guaranteed money. Now, Spence came out and said that he wasn't guaranteed money either, which okay if you say so, but Crawford definitely wasn't guaranteed.
But dude, so you know the Wilder Fury 2 that generated one of the most money in boxing. You know how much they were guaranteed?
A lot.
$5 million a piece.
Yeah, but that's 100% more than what Crawford was guaranteed.
Yeah, but you just what Spence was guaranteed. I'm just saying that they knew that they were making their money, but their guarantee was $5 million. So this one was no guarantee, but they was gonna make that the money. Spence said, "Yo, I knew what I was supposed to be. I'm guaranteed to get, and I'm happy with that." That's why he didn't jump out the box when everybody was like, "Oh, $50 million, 50." He was like, "Man, I know what I know what I signed the contract, and I know what I'm getting. That $50 million is to help you out, not me. That's exactly what he said.
So you think Errol Spence is getting somewhere close to $50 million for this fight? You think he's getting anywhere close? You think he gets close to $25 million for this fight?
Look,
does that match up with anything he's gotten before? He's not going to get.
I'm telling you, I don't know what. I'm just telling you what he told. He told Terrence Crawford.
I get that.
He told Terrence Crawford that $50 million won't for him. That was for you. That was for Crawford.
Well, it wasn't 50 mil for Crawford. It was 25.
No, he was saying the split, the 25-25. That was for Crawford's benefit, but not for him. So he was happy.
Yeah, that makes zero sense.
If Spence got 10 million and was happy with that 10 million, then that other money it was for Crawford, not him. That's what he was saying.
I think to Boston's point, like it looks like Errol wasn't writing some of this stuff, right?
No, which
is fine.
He was right in what was in the contract when it.
I'm talking about the tweet, right? So, for example,
was copying and pasting what Tim Smith or Al Heyman was sending them, because you made a comment about Crawford reading cue cards. It was the same shit. Errol Spence
it has one point. It says that
I say he was copying what was in the contract.
He was copying and pasting what somebody else told him to say.
Yeah, we've heard him do it, but he has like the draft included specific provisions that required both of us would require
that was out of the contract.
Detailed accounting showing all pay-per-view sales of the event, and then the status of the net revenues receiving all events incurred and paid in there. But I think, but what I was saying is that to that point is that he's not really kind of speaking, I'm saying, from necessarily this kind of knowledge that he has about the contract, because he said himself that, listen, I have a team around me. I've surrounded myself with a team. I trust my team. And then I'm going to kind of go through that. And then Terrence Crawford is like, I'm trying to, be my own man and be my own team and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, how we know all them damn details if he wasn't even part of the negotiation and shit, man? He had somebody sending him texts and he was copying and pasting.
All what talking about that what was inside the contract.
You said what?
He's just telling you what was inside the contract.
And that's fair. Like I said before, hey, if Crawford got that shit, got a term sheet that had met his demands in August, I said Crawford's got some explaining to do.
He does.
Even if that is.
I said that earlier. We had talked on the phone, me and the Kadri ran and stuff, and that if those things that those issues of transparency, and then if he was able to kind of get an insight into all of those expenses and all of this, then Terrence does have some explaining to do. But we are all left holding this.
Yeah, we all left
bag. Right. I mean, that explanation could be as simple as no guaranteed money, and then the fans are gonna be like, "Oh, fuck you," or that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? I can respect that, but if he say that, then I can respect that. And then even Spence said that he was like, "Yo, if you wanted to go get that bag with that 10 million, I can respect that too. But don't just say, we ducking you or whatever the whole thing was. You know what I'm saying? The whole narrative was like, oh, Spence ducking. Oh, no, Crawford ducking. No, just say, hey, they didn't offer guaranteed money, and now I got a $10 million purse right here guaranteed. I can come back around and get to you. And then that would have been it. I just said, the communication, and now they're saying that let's have this next round of negotiation be
public. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Yeah, so we'll see. Like Cam said, the fans, we still left without a fight. Unfortunately, I mean, we left. Thurman Spence is not a bad fight.
It's not. It's just frustrating. And you know what I'm saying? Because now if they move up, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't see where Crawford's going with this. It seemed like he didn't want to fight the young lions, but after Spence move up, there ain't nothing but the young lions left. And then if he move up to 154, he's gonna have the same problem that he had at 147, seeing that most of the better fighters are at PBC. And he ain't gonna want Charlo. Charlo's gonna be way too big. But
he's called out Charlo before though.
He don't want Charlo, man. Come on.
I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm just going by what the man
Charlo
said.
would lay his ass out.
I think Charlo will.
I don't think Charlo is that. I think Crawford is a little bit better boxer than.
Charlo has been out.
Charlo is powerful, but he's
been out. And then what happened? He knocked their ass out. That's like
he has a pretty predictable style.
To outbox him and then Tank knocked their ass out.
Well, not the first Tony Harrison fight. He got his eyeballs boxed out.
Yeah, but look how big Tony Harrison is with that jab. Crawford ain't got that physical attribute.
That's true. He's not as tall.
He doesn't have
as
nearly the
as
skill of Terrence Crawford either.
Man, dude,
Harrison's nice, and like Randy said, Harrison has got the dimensions too. But this is a lot of what happens with this fight, and is going to be determined based off of what happens with PBC and this network deal, right? Fox ain't giving them no more money. That Fox thing is dead. Showtime looks like it's going to get merged into Paramount Plus. Maybe that deal between PBC and Showtime is up at the beginning of the year. And if Al Heyman still maintains control, contractual control over these guys, he's going to have to go to networks and present them with fights, and the networks are either going to say yes or no. He can't go to networks with Benavidez Uzcategui and expect ESPN or whoever to be like, oh, yeah, we'll give you money for that. That's not going to happen. He might be forced to make fights that he wouldn't normally make, but we'll see. All right. We gotta see what happens, man. There's a lot of rumors out there in these streets about Sampson and Louis DeCubas taking their guys and disassociating themselves from Al Heyman. If you look at the guys who have been fighting recently, they've been DeCubas guys and they've been Sampson guys. Morrell was a DeCubas guy. And the guy who's getting ready to fight this guy, Michelle, whoever, get ready to fight Frank Martin. He's also a Sampson guy. So, but Frank Martin is a PBC guy. So we'll see.
All right. With that said, we are going.
That's gonna be a good fight. That Frank Martin,
Michelle Rivera.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good.
Yeah. I think Colbert would have been better, but I guess
I don't think it would have been better. I think
this is gonna be the fight.
Frank Martin washes Colbert.
Frank Martin is legitimate. With that said, but once we kind of get into that, we'll talk about that. But before we head out, I want to make sure that you like and subscribe and comment on our page. We've been building up our pundit community at this point, and it's been a good thing. Y'all have good insight, and we do take your comments and we use that to try to improve upon the show. But with that said, we want to make sure that y'all tune in. We're going to have our shows coming out. We're going to move it up to Thursday, I believe. But make sure that you subscribe and you will get notifications. With that said, I'm Professor Nims. I'm signing off for my man, the Casual Rand.
Peace.
Boston Jarrett.
Peace.
Coach Dave is not with us tonight, but we make up the pundits of pugilism. And we thank y'all for rocking with us tonight.